We'll go right down the Durham, North Carolina last night. All the excitement. Barack Obama's in the house. Ken Griffey Jr. is in the house, Teddy. 30 seconds into the game, Shoegate breaks out. Zion Williamson goes down, sprained knee. Sorry if you had that ticket on Duke -10. You were already out, it seems like, right from the beginning. But those are the breaks, Teddy, right?
Sure, there are no locks. There's never a lock. There's never a lock when you're up by 90 with 3 seconds left. And last night, of course, a scenario in which everything that you thought you were betting on, if you bet Duke, was taken away 30 seconds into the game with Williamson's injury and the crowd being deflated and the team being deflated. And, it was just a nightmare for Duke backers. There's no way around it. That's why you don't bet all your money on one game. That's why you always say, hey, I need to make wagers that I can afford to lose if things go wrong. That was absolutely the case for Duke last night. The incredible thing, North Carolina, what were they? 9.5, 10-point dogs in that game. They won by 16 despite 2 for 20 from three-point range. They couldn't hit a broadside of a barn with their three-point shooting last night and still won by margin, which speaks volumes about how out of it Duke was once Williamson went down.
Yeah, Teddy, those are the toughest breaks to have as well. It's almost like your quarterback getting hurt in the middle of a game. If you know he's going to be out and you have a couple days to get ready for it, you can scheme and, get right and try to use different angles out there. But I think me and you could have went down to the Thomas and Mack Center last night and hit better than 2 for 23. And also, if you're looking at Duke, who turned into a three-point shooting machine, not making a ton of them, 8 for 39 as well. Easy winner last night for North Carolina. When we take a look at what's next on deck for the Duke Blue Devils, they're going to go, obviously, on the road to play Syracuse in a revenge situation without Zion Williamson. We should take a look at that one as well. But also, betonline.ag. Since we are a gambling show, we like to bring the value up there. A little bit of a fun prop right here, Teddy. Zion Williamson to sign with which shoe company in the NBA? Adidas, Nike, Puma, New Balance, Under Armour, Big Baller, all listed here. Can we get some value if we still hang in there, Teddy, with Nike?
Maybe. Of course, I don't know if I want Nike stock today. Yeah. And I don't. This is, again, you're trying to get inside the head of an 18, 19-year-old kid and say, okay, is he going to say, no freaking way am I ever wearing a Nike again? Or is he going to say, yeah, this is my brand? I don't know. And for me, those are scenarios in which I don't tend to get involved with a wager, but I love the fact that you see odds like this. It's fun to talk about. It's interesting to talk about. And if you do have an opinion, you can get a wager down.
Always fun to look at there. Also, a little bit later in the show in the Off the Mic section, Teddy, we'll talk a little Zion Williamson. Should he or shouldn't he shut it down at the end of the season here? But gamblers alike, look, the end of the game ticket wasn't affected last night between two squads, Teddy, that were both Bulldogs. That would be Mississippi State and also Georgia. A teddy bear bulldog thrown onto the court to try to disrupt the free throw shooter. A tech comes in. Now, look, would he have maybe made the second one? We won't know for sure without the technical foul, but he does make the second one, misses the third free throw to force, some long Hail Mary pass with a half second to go was the right move there. But always interesting to see that come into play, or a quick technical foul or something can happen from something outside of the actual two teams that are playing and the referees. And Teddy, here's my question to you as gamblers out here. They're both Bulldogs. A Bulldog was thrown on the floor. Could this have been an inside job from Mississippi State here?
It could have been, but the refs didn't see it that way. And when it's your court, you're going to get the blame, even if it is opposing fan throws a Bulldog on the floor. That's just the way that it is. Now, from a point spread perspective, this is a nightmare for Mississippi State backers because you're in a scenario, he's already missed the first free throw. The score's tied at 67. There's 0.5 seconds left. He gets whistled. There's a foul, 2 free throws with 0.5 seconds left, and he misses the first. You want to talk about pressure? There's a lot of pressure. What happens next? Boom. Somebody chucks in the Bulldog. Oh, here's an extra free throw. Here's the technical free throw. And that one he sinks. But that may well have cost the home team the game, given the scenario. That's not a good fan situation. And from a point spread perspective, you have Mississippi State minus the points. You want that game to go to OT. Yep. It's the only way you can cover is an OT. That's your worst case scenario. So great for fans of Mississippi State, how that went down. Lousy for bettors.
Even on the, forget about the side, also the total as well, Teddy, was well under at that point, but we've seen it go. 1 overtime, 2 overtime, double bonuses in that situation. Never would have known as well. So interesting little thing when I saw that pop up last night, and we'll see if any of those shenanigans happen down the stretch, especially in the SEC. Take a look at the NBA, Teddy. It's been a long time since we talked a little bit NBA action. Gets back underway tonight in a segment just a little bit later in the show. Watch What You Bet. We'll preview a pretty big game in the Eastern Conference, but some interesting tidbits, Teddy, came up over the weekend here outside of the All-Star game. Joel Embiid now soreness in his knee. I mean, this guy used to be a walking injury. Now is that creeping up second half of the season? Sixers did a pretty good job of load management in the first half, but was he injured before going to the All-Star game or back? Boogie Cousins now completely off the Richter scale, as I like to say. He's able to get as many minutes maybe as possible heading down the stretch. And also coming into tonight's game, Gordon Hayward twisted an ankle in an off-season workout, but just nice to have. The NBA is back, the second half surge. Here we go.
Sure. And the beauty of the NBA at this time of the year, okay, for about a week after the All-Star break, maybe 10 days, the mainstream media pays a lot of attention to the NBA because the NBA is back off the break. And then March rolls around, and March basically sucks most of the oxygen out of the room. So what you'll see in March, you'll see teams getting better and worse in the NBA, and the markets tend to take a little bit longer to adjust. You can ride some really good streaks at this time of the year. You talked about some of the key guys who are out, Embiid, Hayward, and the like. Let's talk about some guys who are in. There were concerns about Damian Lillard playing for Portland night. He's good to go. At latest report, Kyrie Irving upgraded to probable for the Celtics tonight. He's likely to go. So while there's lots of guys banged up off the break, there are also a good handful of guys who are coming back from injury. This is one time you really want to check those injury reports day of the game. Clint Capella coming back for Houston. That's an impact return after missing 15 games. All over the betting board, you're going to see guys or teams making adjustments to their rotation minutes because they're getting players in and out. This is not a time and not a night where I'm expecting, tonight and tomorrow both, all the best teams to play their best. That just doesn't happen coming out of the break.
Snowed in Las Vegas yesterday. Snowed on the East Coast here in New Jersey yesterday. What's not to like about spring training on the horizon? And the first spring training game is scheduled for today. Hallelujah. Yesterday, Teddy brought up both ends of the spectrum. First, we had the Baltimore Orioles. Disastrous. Then we had the Boston Red Sox, impressive. And then we stay with another impressive team here, Teddy, in the AL East. That's the New York Yankees, 162 last year in 2019. Made some moves this year. Also, if we take a look, the co-favorites at a certain amount of sports books, Teddy, at plus 650 to win the World Series, along with fellow division mate Boston Red Sox. Also, a win total, Teddy, at 96 for those Yankees. How about it?
Yeah, I mean, look. There's a problem with betting on the Yankees. And let me make this very clear. Yankees won 100 games last year. Great season. They lost money for their backers. They went 53-28 at home. They lost money for their backers. They went 47-34 on the road. They lost money for their backers. You bet them on the run line every game. You lost money. You bet them in the playoffs every game. You lost money. It's really hard to make money betting on the teams that are properly priced as elite teams in the betting marketplace. Yankees, 100 wins? Yeah, they're probably certainly the best. With a total of 96, the markets are saying this is a team that's very live to win 100 games this year. But will that result in any profit for their backers? I'm not so sure of that. The Yankees have everything we want for a great team. The starting pitching's there. The bullpen is as elite as it gets. And if there's one way to make money in MLB that I figured out. You bet against bad bullpens. You bet at bad bullpen teams over the total. And that's my MO for betting baseball. Yankees have maybe the best bullpen in MLB. They're not a team I'm in any rush to step against. They're loaded with stars. They pick up a couple former Rockies who are both all-stars, to add up, make that lineup even stronger. But all that being said, I don't see any realistic scenario that the Yankees come out of this season as big money makers for their backers. They're just priced too high. Even if they win 100 games, they lost in every role last year. And 100-game win season this year, 100-win season this year, every Yankees fan to be happy. They cash their over tickets, and they still wouldn't make any money for their backers. That's where this team is priced. Makes it very difficult for me to get involved betting on or against the Yankees. I can tell you I probably played 5 Yankees games last year. Might not even play that many this year. Hard team to get involved with.
Yep, always a Yankees tax, it seems like, Teddy, each and every year. But also keep in mind, I mean, we're talking about a team that won 100 games last year. Let's keep in mind also, they lost 62 games as well. So pick your spots in that movement. It's astounding to see a team, Teddy, that went 162 and actually lost money for their backers. But that's Major League Baseball. We'll continue down that foxhole as we get ready for opening day, which is scheduled for March the 20th. And then the official United States, as we like to say, opening day, a week later after that.